Welcome to Math 55, 65, and 85 at Somerset Community College. I want to go over the courses briefly. First thing is you may want to go to somerset.kctcs.edu and click on Blackboard to find some information from your instructor. Also, by the way, this is one place to find the KCTCS email link. This was another way to find your PeopleSoft link. So let's go ahead and go to the syllabus. Now I'm going to be going over the Math 65 syllabus. The Math 55 and Math 85 syllabi are very similar, just some slight modifications. Most of this you can read for yourself, so I'm going to go through it fairly quickly. Now for all the classes you'll need to purchase a MATLAB access code. In Math 55 and 65 and 85 they all use the same code. If you know you need to take all three classes, then the access code with the workbook that can be purchased in the bookstore, it will be good for all three classes. So it's a one-time purchase for all three classes. If you only need Math 85, you may want to talk to your instructor, or if you only need Math 55 and 65, you may want to talk to your instructor. If you are a returning student and you've had Math 55, 65, or 85 in the previous semester, do not purchase anything until you talk to your instructor. You may not need to buy anything. And if you have bought something, do not open it up until you talk to your instructor. Now in Math 55 you cannot use your own calculator, only the calculator that's found within the MyMathLab system can be used. But in Math 65 and 85 you can use your own scientific calculator or Texas Instruments graphing calculator number TI-84 or below. No TI-89s, 92s, Inspire, none of those will be permitted. If you ever have any issues with MyMathLab, this is the number you want to contact. Your instructor will have his or her information on their syllabus, and hopefully they'll tell you how to find that syllabus. Now Math 55 and Math 65 each have 6 modules. They're actually based on chapters in the textbook. Math 85 has 5 modules, and you can read these for yourself. 75% of the grade will be based on the modules, and 25% will be based on the final exam. In order to pass the class, you must have at least 50% on the final exam, and overall class average is 70%, which does include the final exam score. Now, in this class, you can only make an A, B, C, an MP, or an F grade. Most people make an A or B if they finish. Now the MP is not the best grade in the world, but it's not the worst grade. And we'll talk more about that probably in a few minutes. We'll just talk about it now. On the MP grade, it's not a passing grade first off. But if you do get an MP grade, that means you completed at least 3 new modules and you haven't missed too many days. 450 minutes is what we tend to go by. What that means is if you do get the MP grade, that you will need to take the class again, pay for the class again, but don't buy any new materials. And let's say that you only finish 3 modules. That means that next semester you'll start with module 4. Or if you finish 4 modules, you'll start with module 5. So it's not the worst thing, but it's not a passing grade either. But it's not the worst thing. To receive an F, that means that you didn't complete at least 3 new modules, or you may have missed too many days. For example, you may have completed 4 modules. Since this is a spring semester, say you finish 4 modules by the end of February, and you disappear. Well, you're probably getting a failing grade. So don't disappear. Or you may get caught cheating the final exam or any exam really. Don't cheat. And the number one way that people cheat is using a cell phone. No cell phone for any reason is permitted at any time. So keep that in mind. No cell phone ever. And no notes. Cannot use notes. Cannot use any outside resources when it comes to tests. In fact, we'll even give you the paper to use. Well, like I said, you can read a lot of this for yourself. Now the final exam will be given during the week, May 2nd through May 6th, but it could also be given earlier, depending on when you finish your last module. And then some people, if you finish by a certain date, which we'll talk about that later, will not even be required to take the final exam. So we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Now if you're new to college, you can withdraw through midterm. You don't need anybody's signature or permission, but after midterm you do need permission. So just contact your instructor on how to go about withdrawing. If you do withdraw, it means that no module grades will transfer over to the next semester. You will start at module 1. So make sure you talk to your instructor before you withdraw. Late work, even though we do have due dates, you are never ever locked out of assignments. The only thing that may happen is you may not be eligible for certain bonus points. Written work, we want you to show all work when it comes to pre-test and exit tests, because you may need to go over the tests with your instructor, and your instructor can find mistakes fairly quickly, especially if the work is neat and easy to follow. And then again, there may be some other advantages also to showing your work. So always show your work when it comes to test. Attendance policy, if you do miss more than 450 minutes, which is 6 class meetings, you potentially could be failed automatically, and so be aware of that. You don't want to miss. If you cheat at any time, we can definitely make you start the module over from the very beginning, or you can actually receive a failing grade. So don't cheat. Like I said, most of this you can read for yourself. Now, how this course works, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to the MyMathLab system so you can see how a module works. I'm actually going to go to Module 1 of 065. Now, this is how all the modules tend to look, for the most part. Some of them will have the syllabus, so this is one place where you can find the syllabus. This is just a generic syllabus. This is not the official one that your instructor will provide for you. We will have videos. Now, the class, there are no lectures in the class, but as far as your instructor goes, studying from the classroom. Now, your instructor can do like mini sessions if needed, but the lectures have already been completed in YouTube videos. So I'm going to click on one of these just so you can see how they look. And so what it is, you'll see notes with someone going over it, the notes. Now the notes are found in the workbook that comes with the MyMathLab access code that you purchased. And you can purchase that workbook alone also, standalone workbook. You can also find those notes here by clicking on this link and then printing them off. And so we do have videos for every single section. And the good thing about the videos is you can always fast forward, you can always back up, and you can always pause, and you can always rewatch them. So they actually do have lots of advantages than a regular lecture class does. In a regular lecture class, if you miss, you may not ever have access to the lecture again, or you may not be able to keep up in a lecture class. But with the videos, they're always going to be there. And if you're wondering where to find them, if you're at home and nothing is needed as far as an account, nothing. These are totally free. The YouTube channel is SECTED, so you can find them there. And then we do have some additional videos. If you're in Math 65 and 85, there are some graphing calculator videos. If you're new to the TI 83 or 84, you will want to watch those. And then we have additional videos made by other instructors. So you want to take advantage of those. Now let's go to the assignments, which is by far the most important thing. And as you can tell, I don't have them available to you now, so I'm going to go to my site so you can see how they look. You don't have access to this yet, but you will the first day. This is how the assignments look. We have, if you're in 65 or 85, we have a course pretest. And this is only in Module 1. Math 55 doesn't have this. This course pretest, you're required to take it, but if you don't want to take it seriously, that's totally up to you. What I mean by that is if you've already finished Math 55 and you're in 65, you don't need to take this course pretest, so just submit it. Now if you're in Math 65 and you haven't had Math 55, you want to take this course pretest. And when you take it, you can take this is the only test you can take at home. And when you take it at home and you find that you don't like what you see, or if you take it at school, it doesn't matter where you take it. But if you find that you're having difficulties with it and you feel like you may not be ready for Math 65, let your instructor know as soon as possible. Definitely the first week. And that way, if you want to, your instructor can switch you from 65 to 55. Or if you're in 85, you can switch from 85 to 65, or even 85 to 55. And that's totally up to you and what you do. And you may find that it's better to do that. You don't want to get caught in a class where you struggle from the very beginning. And you will find that if you do switch to the other class, that it will prepare you for the next class. Now that's the only time you'll see the course pretest. After that, you'll see a module pretest. Now every single module does have a pretest, and these are password protected. Every pretest and every exit test is password protected. And you can only take them in the classroom. Depending on where you're taking these classes at, you can take the test anytime the doors are open. If you're in London or Somerset, you can take the exams anytime the doors are open. Because whoever's in there, the instructional specialist, will have the password needed for your instructor, no matter who the instructor is. Now let's say that you do take the pretest and you make at least a 90 on it. If you make at least a 90 on any module pretest, you're finished with the module and you don't have to do anything else, and you go to module 2. That's a way to test out of material that you already know. If you make an 85 but not a 90, you can bypass the homework assignments and then go to the exit test, and then all you need on the exit test is an 80 to finish the module. Now let's say you don't make at least an 85 or a 90, or if you're just not satisfied with your grade, you can start doing the homework assignments. Now these videos are the same videos that were in the main menu over here. And they're just broken down based on the corresponding homework assignment. So for example, the module 1, homework 1, you don't have this view, but I'm going to go into it so you can see how it looks. What you're going to see is just those videos, not all of them, just the ones needed for homework 1, which just covers section 3, 1, and 3, 2. So like a typical class, you'll watch the lecture and then do the homework. Now we do require that you make an 80% on the homework assignments, but we want you to do better than 80%. We want you to go ahead and make 100. Now let's just say that you make 80% on the homework assignments on each one of these. And if you notice, videos, homework, videos, homework, videos, homework. And the videos don't count towards the grade, they're not required, but the homework assignments are. And now these homework assignments, say you make exactly an 80. What that means is, to finish the module, you'll need to make at least an 80% on the exit test, because your overall module grade must be at least 80%. Now let's say that you make 100% on all the homework assignments. Then that means you only need to make a 75% on the exit test. Now, we also have a review assignment. If you make a perfect score on that review assignment, or if you do this bonus question, either or, that's worth an additional 5 points also. So let's say that you make 100% on the homework assignments and you do either the review at 100% or the bonus, make a perfect score on that, then you only need to make a 70% on the exit test. Now these additional assignments are only needed if you need additional attempts on the exit test. You can do each homework problem as many times as you want, and you can do each exit test as many times as you want. That's for each module, including the final exam. There are no limit on the number of attempts. Now, when you do take the pretest and you start doing your homework assignments, you're going to see that some of the homework problems have been counted correctly. That's because the homework assignments are tied to the pretest. So the better you do on the homework assignments, or on the pretest I should say, the fewer homework problems you'll have to do. Now, you do not want to guess on the pretest, because you may guess correctly. And if you guess correctly but don't make an 85, that means that when you do the homework assignments, because you're required to do them, you may not be able to practice the homework assignments that you guessed on because you guessed correctly, and therefore the homework assignments, those homework problems are counted correctly, which means when it comes time for the exit test, you may not be prepared. So don't guess on the pretest. Now, I've been talking about on the homework assignments how you can do those problems as many times as you want. Well, I'm going to show you how you do that. So I'm going to go to preview. This is my side. You won't see that on your side. I'm just going to go in here and act like that I'm going to miss this. I missed it. I'm going to try it again. Most of these you get like 3 attempts. And then I'm going to check it again. When I check it that third attempt, it shows that it's wrong and it gives me the correct answer. And it gives me a red X and shows I have a 0%. What I can do is I can ask my instructor for help, or I can go back and watch the videos, or I can use these over here. This helped me solve this We'll explain this problem with you step by step. This video is the author's videos. The textbook is where you can find the actual textbook. If you were to purchase a hard copy, it just happens to be in digital form. And then this is the calculator that's going to be found in Math 55 at certain points. It will pop up in modules 1 and 2 at certain points, and then when you hit module 3 and 55, it will always be there. And this is the only calculator you get to use in Math 55. For 65 and 85, it will always be there. If you're at home and you're working, you can click Ask My Instructor, which isn't available in this view that I'm in, but on your view it will be. And what it does, it will send this very view, this very problem, to your instructor, and you can add comments. So let's say that you need help and you click on Help Me Solve This, and you go through that and you like what you see and you're ready to go, but you want to try this problem again. So what you want to do is just click on Similar Exercise, and what it does, it generates new values for you, a new problem. So now, after you studied and you've asked for help, you type in the correct answer and you check it, you see a green check. You still have that red X there, but as soon as I click OK, it saves it. It becomes a green check, and it gives me credit for it. So that's how you can do each problem as many times as you want until you get it right. You don't have to hit save either. You can skip around on the homework. And you don't have to hit save. It will save it automatically. If you do hit save, it's just going to cost you a little time. It's no big deal. But you don't have to hit save when it comes to homework problems. And that's how these modules work. So really, this is where the modules start, from pretest and the end at the exit test. If you need to take the exit test again, you may have to do some extra work. These don't count for grades. None of this does down here. And some of this you won't see because I've taken some of it out, combined some of it. So just be aware. And if you ever have any questions, always ask your instructor. Now, the study plan, go back to the main menu. Study plan has some additional practice. If you want to study in there, just click on that and then click on View All Chapters and then click on the sections that you want to practice with. We have handouts also with the answers for you to practice. Just click on those. Multimedia Library, this is where you can find PowerPoints if you want to look at those, or additional videos made by the author, or the actual textbook. You can click on that and then click on Find Now. And then you click on any of these to open up the textbook, which I'll click on one of them, doesn't matter. And that's how this is the actual textbook. This is how it looks. And you can go here and then click on, say you're working in chapter 3, section 2, and click on there and it takes you right to that section 2. You can click here for page numbers, forward or back. So it's just a regular textbook. It just happens to be in digital form. And that's how all the modules look. Every single one of them. Every one of them. Except for the final exam. The final exam just has the review and the actual final exam. And that's what all this was saying. You make 80% of the homework assignments, but we want you to make a 90. On the exit test, you have to do extra work. You'll need an 80, but that can change. But because your overall grade must be 80%, but the better you do on the homework assignments, the lower that becomes. We have bonus points, that's just what we were talking about. You are more than welcome to progress through these courses, these modules quickly, even though we do have due dates. For 65, these are the due dates. We want you to work ahead. If you finish this class in 1 week, that's great. We want you to. And so do that. Finish as soon as possible. Now, if you get behind, you can still catch up at the end. If you have to miss for whatever reason, talk to your instructor. Your instructor more than likely will work with you so you can finish the class. And the breakdown of each module is the homework is 20% and the exit exam is 80%. That doesn't matter because we're going to force you to make an 80% on the module grades. So finishing the module is the important thing. If you finish all the modules in the final exam, you finish the class. The final exam, once again, is 25% of the grade. Now here's the date that I was talking about. If you start from module 1 in any class and you finish all those modules on or before April the 1st, you are exempt from the final grade, and your overall average from the modules will be your final grade in the class, which will be at least a B, by the way. So remember this deadline, the final exam exemption deadline, April the 1st. April the 1st, which is a Friday. If you finish everything, all the modules by then, no final exam. The only ones who cannot be exempt from the final exam are the people who have made an MP the previous semester. Everybody else can be exempt from the final exam. Now, if you're in Math 65 and you finish Math 65 early, and you know you need college algebra for your degree, which means you need to take Math 85, you can go ahead and start in the 85 modules. And if you only finish one module in 85, that's one less you have to do next semester, and you'll start with module 2. Or if you're in Math 55 and you finish all 55 early, and you want to start doing 65 modules, and you finish only one module in 65, you'll start with module 2 and 65 next semester. If you're in 55 or 65 and you want to go to the next class, you do not have to go to the registrar, don't have to see your advisor, you just come to class, and we'll put you in the next course modules. If you're in 65 and you happen to finish all the 85 modules, you just earned a free class. You just have to sign a form, and give it to your instructor will get that form to you. The instructor will send that to other people, and we'll go through the process, and you'll receive step credit for Math 85. You just earned a free class, completely free. If you're in Math 55, you can actually finish 65 also and Math 85 this same semester and have earned 2 free classes and earned or caught up or saved 2 semesters of time. So we want you to finish early. That's why we have the doors open for you. If you can come in extra time, come on in, finish these classes as soon as possible. You can do the homework anywhere you want. You can do them at home or whenever you want. The tests must be taken in the classroom anytime the doors are open. So we want you to come in and finish. Also, if you're in whatever class you finish, 55, 65, and you want to go to the next class, and you finish all the modules in the same semester as this semester, in that second class or that third class, you are automatically exempt from the final exam no matter when you finish the last module of that second or third class. So the April 1st deadline only applies to the first class. The second class or third class, since you finish that last module this semester in that second class or third class, you're no final exam and you're done with the class. And if you have any concerns about that or don't quite understand, talk to your instructor. And once again, these are the deadlines, which we have them also in the modules. I have them in mine. They're there as a reminder, but they're also in the syllabus. And here's some more information. Just make sure that you talk to your instructor if you ever have any questions. And once again, their information should be provided here someplace. Always ask if you have any questions. Hope you have a great semester.